this is going to be probably the best draft we've seen so far from two teams. So this should be fun, Mikey.
Well, thank you for that, Jonathan. Did you want to tell me who you had it as a favorite after these drafts, though?
I'd say it's dead even. Legitimately, I think it's dead even. This boils down to how well you can abuse your lanes. No, I mean, I can see a world where you're all in on Ivory, fails, and then you suddenly, Talon starts to get a little bit of an early tempo, or at least draw even. Your pressure at, say, 10 to 15 isn't as high for Ivory. And then the stall mechanic for Talon kind of kicks in, and you don't feel comfy. I can also see Ivory having success, getting all of this very aggressive supports online early. You shut down Mikado. The Ursa's going to be farming, Doom's going to be farming, as is the tendency of those heroes. And then you're stuck with Warlock and Slarka supports that need to stall the game. The only way they can stall is tossing their bodies out, and for Jokam specifically, checking for vision. But if you just run and gun on the side of Ivory, again, this pause 1 Underlord poses a serious issue because of that global presence.
Oh, they're going to fight? No, they will not. 3-for-1 trade on the bounty, so nice little start here for Talon. Eisen, the only one to secure a bounty rune on Ivory, just weren't willing to fight at that top rune spot. Of course, mid lane, we are going to have the Quap versus Storm matchup, which does seem to go either. In fact, hold that thought, because Brick's going to run right into Jokam. Jokam happy to trade because he has Essence Shift and is going to find a very nice D-Ward for himself on his way out. Back to the mid lane. You are going to have Makoto on the Storm versus Ken on the Quap. Obviously, this should still be Quap favorable, especially with the Shadow Strike build that we are seeing quite a bit. Though we have seen some Storms be able to pull off the win anyway. Armel in particular comes to mind quite a bit between those Storm Quap games. And, Makoto is one of those players where I could see him just completely outplaying Ken here in the mid lane, even with the hero disadvantage.
That he could. It's a little bit more tricky. Trying to drop an overload charge when Ken comes in, it's a little bit harder. There is that little aspect of bondage returning the spell damage onto Mikado as well. And early on for Storm, that is massive. Right? Like, you are reliant on the Remnant plus overload. The reflected laning spell damage, it's gonna zone you out a little bit here on Mikado. He does start with an insane amount of branches, so he's got a lot of prolonged regen with the Tangus at the release. That's something that will stem the tide a little bit. Along with that early bounty start, giving him a little bit of a quicker bottle. It should even it out just a tad, but again, you think about what happens in this lane. Think about the 4-minute mark. If you've got space to leave your side lanes, which you do with Kunkka Underlord, you collapse onto mid with a Shadow Shaman and a Witch Doctor. That's an easy kill. And my concern is at that 4-minute mark. No matter what the Storm does, the supports will have room to go because you have tanky side lanes. And that is the thing that's going to collapse here. And that's the thing that Ivory has to play around. Taking a look at one of those tanky side lanes. Again, Eisen on that pause 1 Underlord that he's made look pretty damn good. We've seen a few teams kind of dip into this tech as well elsewhere in other regions. Into a Doom lane. Perhaps this is one of the least comfy lanes for Underlord. It's also not too bad, as you can do this.
Uh-oh. Absolutely. WS is going to go down. Grims will take him out. Very nice pickup already here for Ivory, and a very simple one at that. It's classic Witch Doctor right now. Once you have Cask and Maledict, just so easy to secure kills. And I also appreciate that we do see a level in Pit of Malice from Eisen to ensure they can just lock him down long enough. Of course, WS and Jokam going to have to play a lot more cautiously now, because they know the kill potential is very high once you have these spells up.
And it is. It's not a very important lane for Underlord to have Atrophy Aura anyhow. You really don't need it. You could just go for maybe a 3-1-1 build, still get a little bit of the Atrophy, again, to utilize that Demon's Reach to get the cleave, but you can go all in aggressive. You can just play off of that early Maledict. Grimm should go for the 1-1 build that we've seen as well, and you can run down. Again, this is the one thing with the Slark Pause 4. It's really inactive. Like, there's theoretically a position where you could pounce, run down with Scorched Earth and Infernal Blade. Very difficult to commit when, again, you've got some sustain, you've got really good turn potential here on the side of Ivory. So it is going to have to be a much more passive game for Talon. I'm keen on seeing if Jokam will actually have that impact in this game. We'll see later on. Last thing we haven't really managed to discuss about is up top, where, again, you've got Savage on the Ursa, laning along with that Black Grimoire, the Warlock for Cuckoo, and they're going to be playing up against Rupido, Rupido and Rick on that lane. It's a very passive lane. Ursa can threaten, but you're always going to get poked back with Tidebringer. Eventually, when the X is up, the full commitment might not be too easy to find either. And Rupidosh, again, he's already fine in a solo lane. You're getting that space out for the supports to rotate, even on the 4-minute rune. And if Mikado doesn't get a top-up, he's not going to feel great. At least no one comes in on time for bot. So he'll go 1 for 1. And that is, again, important to actually get some impact in talent, because it hinges on the Storm. Like, if he doesn't find 4-minute walk rune, it's going to stall out to 6. He gets stalled out 6. You have no play. It's WS.
Very nice rotation from Drick this time around. And again, you have so much lockdown here for WS. Drick doesn't even feel required for that kill, but I mean, why not? Quick rotation down bottom. It's not like he can do much to help the offlane of Rupido anyway. So you may as well make these twin gate rotations quite a bit as the Shaman. And they're doing a good job here, Ivory, I've got to say. Jonathan already off to a 2-0 start. Feels like the bottom lane has been somewhat, I mean, definitely won by Ivory. Mid lane's a pretty even affair between Makoto and Ken. And even top lane, I mean, Rupido's not doing too bad. He is obviously behind 23 Savage, but he's doing okay considering the lane matchup.
Now he is. And again, he was also left solo, like you mentioned, right? Like, they know they're not going to be able to try to run down. They don't even take the opportunity to try to punish Cuckoo. They just focus on mid and safe the lanes where they can snowball harder. You're still getting decent tempo out for Rupido. The timings onto his items should be online. You're starting to see the issues for Mikado on mid, already out of mana. And this timing is pretty atrocious. It's going to be right around the 6-minute rune spawn. And he's not even going to get his full bounty. So heads up play from Drick, knowing the Storm's backing off. And Mikado is going to have to make the walk back, TP into mid, at least fully topped up, but potentially giving out control for the first power rune, because Ken's 6. He's got that threat. He gets a good rune here. It could translate into, again, the aggression onto the side lanes, just apply even more pressure onto Talon. And Talon just has no launching point. They just have to wait. Like, even if you reach this point where WS hits 6, you're not expecting Doom to join in until he has at least one item up. And again, that takes time from what we've seen. Fully set up Invis rune for Ken. Maybe not the most important in this case, but could allow a rotation if they feel the need. Or a freebie.
Nice. Oh no. Ken. Whoopsie daisies. Oh. Ken, that's all right. Quick, Ken, you've got time to disconnect. Just call it a bug. Just disconnect, Ken. Master Cuckoo. Oh yeah, I'll do Ken a favor, John. Cuckoo was just too fast. You see that sidestep from Cuckoo? My goodness. He's just lucky Black Room Wild wasn't available, John. Imagine what would have happened if that was available for Ken. Would have been a massacre in the mid lane.
Yeah, certainly need to nerf that Warlock move speed. No, you know what it is? I think it was intimidation. Of course, you're up against the godfather of Filipino Dota 2. You get a little bit scared. You don't aim properly. You know, you're worried. You're worried what the Cuckoos will do afterwards. Yeah.
It's the Haki, John. Do you even know what that is? It's from One Piece, Jonathan.
I absolutely
you probably
understand.
haven't watched that either.
No. Also a slice of life and how long that damn thing is. No, you can't argue that, Mikey. How much filler does that have?
I don't.
Makes Naruto look like a short novel.
It does. But I love it. I heckin' love it, Jonathan. Ken's rotated top. Nothing really coming out of that. It's a pretty awkward start for Ken. Like, you had a good lane. Then you have one of those really big whiffs on your Sonic Wave, and now you just start questioning everything. Where did life go wrong? Did anyone see, you know, how many viewers caught that? Oh, it's just... We'll see. I'm sure he'll recover, John. Mentally, you know, hopefully.
Ken, you know, Ken knows. He's Kenuff. He's been singing that song to himself, I'm sure, every now and again. He's fine. He's a confident young man. He'll bounce back, no problem. Says,
oh, here we go.
We're taking a look at the replay at the biggest play we've ever seen. Outstanding. The Godfather showing us how it's done.
That's instant 9 reports right there. That's an instant 9. I mean, if that was my game, I would have been spamming a count fire right then and there. Then I would not give him any relief. As mid lane, here we go, Makoto. There, he can't miss if he's shackled, John. That's the good news. Makoto's still okay though. Jump in, Makoto. He'll try to zip, but he can't avoid. He's got a soul ring and zip, and he can't do it.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Unfortunate, but a very nice kill here for Grins.
You gotta love Witch Doctor nowadays. See, people are picking it up. it's not even malpractice. The saddest part about Witch Doctor being back is now we're seeing people actually use Clef Deck, and it's just so funny. All they had to do was make Cask be the way it was with slightly nerfed values, and people are starting to pick it again. And this year, again, has some really dumb talents. I feel like that level 25 talent's just insanely strong. Not going to be relevant for a while. For Mikado, very sad death, as he now has no Galvanize, so he doesn't have spare mana to play with outside of the Soul Ring. There is a lot of room for Savage up top, though. This Ursa has been free farming, but can they counteract? You've already eaten the Grimoire here on Cuckoo. He's eaten the book. So he does have the Chaotic Offering ready for a counterfight.
Oh, ugly zip in from Makoto, but he does get saved by the Golem of Master Cuckoo. They will lose Grims and Drick. They will go through the... Eisen. Eisen. They've used your own powers against you, Eisen. How dare they? Oh, Eisen. Eisen's gonna go back to Soul Society. He can't deal with Itachi, Jonathan. You don't know the rankings, but Itachi's clearly stronger, right?
I don't know. You know, it's like...
I mean, in all honesty, Eisen's meant to be stronger, John, but yeah, I don't like Eisen. Itachi's much better. You'd love him if you knew the backstory, John.
In Naruto? I thought it's just some generic
No,
weeb
in
stuff.
Bleach, you idiot.
Oh,
I said Soul
know
Society.
Oh, dude, I legitimately don't know what you're talking about half the time. I feel like I'm me now when I'm talking to you. It's flipped, Mike.
Savage?
Now I can't listen to you.
Savage gets boated up. Torrent's gonna connect. Kenny's here. Oh, not again. Not again.
Oh, no, Ken, no.
Okay, that time was actually a sidestep though. 23 Savage juked that one. That's okay. That one was okay.
It's okay, but now that's where Ken starts to feel a little bit sad, you know? He's gonna pump the music up a little bit louder, hype himself back up, because you get a whiff like that doesn't feel good. I mean, he did get outplayed. Shouldn't hurt him too much, but now we have the instant replay as well. So we can relive this moment. Oh, no. I mean, what can you do, right? What can you do? It's just, Savage
in fairness, he could have centered it a little bit better. Like, he tried to clip him on the left of the Sonic Wave, if I'm being honest. But that's okay. With next replay, I'm sure we'll see him connect, as we are looking at Drick being chased down by Joe Cam now. Joe Cam should have a freebie on his hands. Maybe not, because Grims is going to intervene. And looks like Joe Cam may be the one to fall, as they do get a Melodic Death Ward on him. Grims will happily secure that kill.
Yeah, it's a nice one, but at this point, Joe Cam, we talk about the spacing, especially with Slark. What do you do in the mid game? You buy space. That was 4 heroes responding to a pause for Slark. Look at the space you have for WS. He's eating up that bot jungle. He was eating up the bot lane. Mikado is not being contested too hard on mid. That's exactly what you'd want in Talon. So you are kind of achieving your job. This is the fine balance with Slark 4. You have to know how far you push yourself to sort of feed by gaining information. And Jokam, I mean, they're utilizing the space in Talon. Instead of grouping up top, where they were clumping around a little bit earlier, Savage is again free after he dodges out. They're grouping up now. But again, Jokam is in position to just cut off, and suddenly you're just forced back. It's a lot of space for Talon, which is concerning for Ivory. Again, we talk about that power spike around, okay, maybe 10 to 15 was generous, around 15 to 20. It's looking a little bit stalled. You are getting room out for Eisen. The Mask of Madness is up. Echo Saber to come out next. Cuckoo is ready with a Golem and a Smoke. They can't try to fight into this.
The stacks, not the stacks.
Oh.
Anything but the stacks. Oh, Eisen. Eisen's gone. So, the Sonic Wave, it only connects on one. At least WS does die. There's a positive. Here comes Savage, though. And, well, they don't really have much to do with him at the moment. Savage will find one, looking for a second, but they will shackle him up. But he had the Enrage going, so it lasts no duration. They'll find a Shaman eventually. I think even Ken is going to go down to Makoto. Makoto will survive. They actually can't kill anyone.
Savage? Woo.
He's okay. Chase is on.
Towards Savage, what are you doing?
Oh, Makoto!
Oh, God.
Makoto's jumping in. Savage will survive. Cuckoo keeps him up. Drick will die, and it's going to be a full team wipe. Oh, they've got him. They all make it out here,
God.
Talon. And Ivory, not going to be too impressed with themselves after that fight.
And that was such a sneaky smoke out from Talon. They almost get Savage. A little bit shocking. He walks into the wards. It's maybe Jokan. Oh, perhaps.
Maybe.
Oh, he has his ult though.
He'll pop it. It's gonna be just fine. What a support.
Yeah, outstanding, isn't it? I'm pretty sure this is exactly what the Frog wanted when that shard came out. It just took us a few patches to figure it out, mate. It took us 9 class to show us the wisdom of the C strat of, you know, everything can be support, everything can be a core, mate. That's what we're at now.
Absolutely.
I think, actually, think about it hard, this is the most Southeast Asian pub patch we've had. Guys, I'm gonna run pause 1 Underlord, trust me, it's fine. Guys, I'm running the Doom safe lane, it's all good. Guys, I'm running support Slark, next thing you know, maybe we'll get the AM support back in the meta, mate. That's the next step, that's the next evolution here.
Don't say that. Don't say that, John.
Radiant are scanning.
Top lane?
You know he wanted me.
No, I don't, John. You know very well I don't. Rotation's top. We've got Cuckoo and Makoto hanging by the jungle in case they need to be up top, but it turns out they don't because Ivory have retreated. Meanwhile, one guy we forgot about, I mean, WS has been just catching up this whole time after a pretty horrific laning stage for himself. So he's just been ignored the whole game on the Doom. He's having a great old time. Savage is just pulling way too far ahead of Eisen now as well. Like, considering the hero matchup, Underlord already hates versing Ursa. Ursa's ahead of you in farm as well with the Battle Fury up, which makes matters even worse. And, I mean, Ivory certainly in a position where one team fight can turn the game for them again, but they've got to find that team fight. And Talon's certainly not giving them the openings.
No, it's challenging. I think the issue for Ivory is that it feels like they have to throw all their control into one spot, and their smoke breaks from WS as well. Yeah, a nice spot to just kind of stand, hold his ground. They do drop the vision, but the Watcher's there. And another spot, they counter smoke in. See if they work this.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got the Golem back up.
They might just go after Ken. Golem drop into Doom might be it. In fact, they don't even need the Golem drop. Just straight in. Vortex Doom. They have got Grims on the high ground, but a beautiful Golem drop from Cuckoo, giving the vision to find both supports. Deathward does at least go, and WS actually dies. In fact, Makoto down as well. It's a full channel Deathward. Out from Grims. And it is one thing, the Cleft Death, John. You can't forget about it. It's a lot of damage, even with the damage reduction. Dokam should be dead eventually. They'll lock him down with the shackle.
Yeah.
And he will go down. That's a great team fight now for the side of Ivory. Sure, they give up Ken, but they find 3 great targets for themselves. And yeah, that was it. I mean, just letting Grimm's channel Deathward. Not a good idea.
Now, Cuckoo, you were calling it, right? Like, maybe they didn't need the chaotic offering. He drops it as the gate comes in, but doesn't drop it. You know, he doesn't have it. Even when Eisen goes through the gate, he drops it before the Underlord actually gets through the gate, before the combination comes in there from Grims, and that cost him. A little bit hasty there for Godfather Cuckoo. Does get caught out, and Talon gets punished hard. Good momentum swinging back the way of Ivory. You also didn't really have Savage in position. He saw what happened. He's like, nope, bailing out, just going back to farming, getting that build up on the Ursa. So at the least, your number 1 net worth doesn't fall back. But now you don't have your ultimates. Cooldowns aren't too long here on Ivory to maintain this tempo, and they're clumping apart up top here.
They are. Jump in. They'll try for WS first. WS will have some help incoming. 23 Savage to join. A big Sonic Wave connecting on 2 targets, but it doesn't do enough as now Drick down onto Ken. They'll find a secondary, and in fact, it looks like a third. Drick, or Grims rather, not going anywhere. Double kill for 23 Savage, and he might just rush Roshan. He will. No need not to. It's Roshan time.
Yeah. He's got the Battle Fury, he's got the Blink. We see a lot more Ursas have games where they get this timing and still sit back for the BKB. Because of the aggression Talon's starting to find, and again, because of that, maybe a little bit of a greedy move up top to try to pin down the Doom without, say, the commitment from your Underlord and the full commitment out from your Kunkka. There is enough room here for Savage to clear it out. So it's going to be a nice free Aegis now for the side of Talon. Quick reconnect from Godfather Cuckoo. As we do get the go-aheads. Nice quick pauses for now, which is a pleasant surprise in Southeast Asia. For the side of Ivory, again, what feels like the biggest issue for them is that outside of when Talon kind of maybe overcommit into an engagement, drop too many spells at once. Again, there's this almost pressure of having to control either the Ursa or the Storm. Like, it's either or. Like, yes, Pit of Malice, Torrent, both is pretty big, but your two supports can't really control a multitude, especially if you get some bad RNG on your cask here for Grims. So you kind of have to make that choice with your harder lockdown. It's going to be hard to identify that in the middle of these engagements, and we haven't even reached a point where Joe will have, say, his full Ag shard up, which could be his in like a minute 20. So Tormentor control is actually something I'd want to see Ivory contest, because you cannot hand that for free. We've seen Slark take it every single time when that dice roll comes in as well. And that Death Row ruins you.
Quick work of Grims here for 23 Savage. Mid-tier 1 tower also going to be nicely targeted. In the meantime, WS picks up his full pipe now, so things become infinitely harder in these team fights, because you were already lacking damage as it was with this Quap Kunka, but now it just gets that much worse as the pipe is going to be there for WS. And again, Eisen, as much as he has done a great job in the farm department, he's up against an Ursa and he's still behind. And it's not his fault that this is the conundrum they're in now, but they're nowhere near a stage where they can deal with Savage. And I don't know what part they can get to where they can deal with him.
I feel like it's actually a big timing for them to get this blink up on a Drick. Right? Like Shadow Shaman Blink perhaps is the way you catch this Ursa out with a Hex. You just chain stun him to death. But again, if you get that full commitment, if Talon aren't split apart, then Mikado gets a free run in, WS is going to get a free run in as well. And again, you're kind of reliant on, in terms of your supports, some good RNG to get some bounces here from Ivory for Grim. So the blink from Shaman's going to be nice. The key thing then for Ivory is not taking a full team fight yet, taking a pick off into a team fight, or getting Talon to again overcommit while you kind of use someone as bait. Let's say one style you could do is just kind of toss Eisen out front if he gets jumped. If he's quick enough, drop the Fiend's Gate onto his team, have his team TP into him, perhaps, if they're overcommitting. Again, Cuckoo has to be very smart and very careful about when he uses the Chaotic Offering. It's all about layering spells now. And there is still an angle here for Ivory, but they have to find it fast because they're 8k behind, and their draft is really stuck on tempo. Like, the moment Talon hits, say, 25 minutes in with the advantage, staying at 8k, you do have major concerns for where the damage comes in, for how your control kind of maintains relevance once BKB's shards come out here for the side of Talon, and, you know, how you're supposed to handle that. There is, like, a situation where you can find damage, of course, on your Underlord. That does come out naturally for the hero, especially if he finds a hero kill in the middle of an engagement first. Like, the atrophy buildup is not to be underestimated, for sure. It's just the instant burst first to lead into that. I mean, at this point, Ken doesn't quite have the output. I mean, he's got the Kaya. He's going for the Sanj next. It doesn't feel like he's going to have room for a quick Dagon to try to magically burst, and how effective that is into that pipe you mentioned might not be as effective as you'd want it to be. I will say, like, your high ground is pretty damn good here in Ivory. Again, we're still a ways off from that, but just thinking further ahead, in that circumstance, let's say 35 minutes in, your high ground is strong. Pit of Malice, Boat, Torrent, all pretty damn good. This eventual threat from Grims, if he can get proper usage out from the Griskers later on, for, say, an Ags on Clough, that can be massive, but you don't want to have to think about all that to 35. You want to win now for Ivory, so they've got to start finding some openings. They've got to punish Talon when they're just trying to work the map.
Go, big smoke up. They're going to try and find some punishment here, Ivory. WS would be a nice target if they ran directly north, but they do not. They don't see him. In fact, Savage, he just jumps in. He blinked in for the power rune, and he's in trouble now. He's barely alive, though, thanks to the heals coming out. Now the Death Ward will be channeled from Grims, but I don't think it's going to do quite enough. It at least will take the Aegis down, but they're going to find Ken on the high ground as well. Here comes Rupido to try and help out along with Eisen. Maybe they could take the fight, but there's your golden drop from Cuckoo. Eisen surrounded now. Surely can't continue. Savage will take him down, and Rupido, he will follow very soon as Makoto, looking for the final piece of the puzzle, won't find Grims. But who cares? It's a support Witch Doctor. You found 4 for basically nothing. It was just an Aegis going down for 23 Savage. And Ken really can't afford to get caught like that. He can't be the first one.
Again, this is the challenge for Ivory in trying to make these smokes work, especially before the blink is up. You're also you're running into a Slark, right? Like it's Jokam that breaks the smoke from the left flank. Suddenly you just don't feel safe going in. All right, Talon. Maybe a little bit goofy there, but they get the shard. You know, look at this. The two that died, Cuckoo and Savage, the old teammates from Tier 1. The man who kicked and the man who was kicked died together in unity now, Mike.
So,
Pieces found.
For the record, Savage did stop attacking because Cuckoo was one hit away from dying, and then Savage decides he's going to attack to kill Cuckoo, but he also had overpower on, so he accidentally attacked twice and killed himself. Is what happened. So Karma got Savage for killing Cuckoo immediately. I mean, I guess with the state of the game, it doesn't really matter for them, but it is a pretty goofy mistake to make. As here we go. We're not going to see the replay of... It's always a sonic wave. Why is it always a sonic wave?
I mean, it's a hard
it only
game,
hit
man.
Savage. It hit Savage with Enrage. That's all it hit, John. There was 4 heroes there. Grims as well. I mean, Grims survived at the end. Jokam was making it impossible for him to do anything. And Aizen still can't do much, John. As soon as he comes through the portal, they just drop the golem on top of his head. And then he's got an angry bear on him. It's not very fun.
That it isn't. I'm curious to see if the BKB makes a difference for him, because I feel like it's really not on any of that. Hey, you pop BKB, you're still gonna get either Doomed or Chaotic Offering anyway. You do have that blink on Drick. Again, you have to go for pickoff somehow on Ivory. That's the only way this works now. They'll try with the smoke. This is gonna be the blink reveal on Drick. See if they find flank angle out. They do have chain control with that Atos as well on Rupido. Mikado would be a very juicy target if they can find that. From the low ground, or a little bit challenging.
Smoke broken. Rod of Atos there to lock him down. They've got the target they really want, but no, the shards from Jokam, the Death Shroud coming in clutch, and here comes the rest of the cavalry now. They're still trying for Drick on the Shaman. Eventually he should die. Meanwhile, the Yule Scepter to cancel the Death Ward of Grims. That'll be 2 down already as they're chasing, even for Rupido. Makoto going to be right on his tail with a big zip in. Doesn't have Vortex yet, but has it in 3. In fact, they may not even need it. Chase continues. Rupido desperately trying. He's going to turn eventually. I think he knows he's just dead. Or is he? Aizen's here now. Pit of Malice out. They've chased pretty far in. There's no golden drop for Cuckoo at the moment, so hard to stop them. Doom, though, can! Can! I mean, WS, of course he dooms him, John. Can blink right into him.
Yeah. It's a tough game for Ken. What can you do? You're trying to take the opportunities. You wanted to get that sonic wave out into Mikado, but that blink angle is certainly a little bit aggressive right in WS's face, not respecting the War Stomp that they should have seen on WS at that point, and the Infernal Blade as well. And you suddenly find, again, quite a lot. If you just lost your 2 supports there, on Ivory, I was going to argue it was actually fine. You force a BKB charge out from Mikado. Sure, you're feeding Galvanized, but at this point, you're looking at small wins where you can find them. And it doesn't pan out that way. You lose Ken on top, stalling out some timing, giving a bigger kill out, more Galvanized as well from Mikado in general than they would have actually found. You're seeing the issues now as well. Just that depth route on Jokam. And again, it just ruins your initiation. Just ruins that window where you want to play burst.
Harun not spawning top, but they are going to go after Rupido, who did X himself and move in. Jokam, meanwhile, also going to show up. Grims will get pound stomped, but they don't want to move in blind to that high ground. Talon showing some... Well, back, Makoto doesn't care. He just moves right into the Shaman, apparently. Could give no craps. They've got Golem Drop already for Cuckoo as well, and he's got a very nice angle for it. Ken waiting to wait for the right targets. They'll jump in on the Golem, but he has already dropped. Is now WS still getting targeted by the Death Ward, but he's going to be fine. And Aizen the one to go down. He just can't fight Savage. I don't blame Aizen at all. I just think if you're going to choose POS1 Underlord, you really should ban Ursa.
Now, you should. Again, there's a couple of considerations, but Ursa is looking like probably the bigger nightmare. I think they maybe doubled down on just this two tanky sides as well, right? Like the Kunkka offlane as well from Lupido. Didn't feel like it was doing much directly in the lane up against Savage. And yes, there is this amazing rotation potential that we were seeing as they catch Ken again.
Oh, Ken. Ken. 0-6-4 is the scoreline for our Queen of Pain today, Jonathan. Not very good days here for Ken. And I dare say he's probably going to want to play another hero next game. In fact, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll look at changing up the draft a little bit, for sure, on the side of Ivory. I think Talon... I appreciate the ideas. I think there was a way to execute the Ursa, certainly just causing a lot of issues. And I think even then, it didn't feel like we got really that moment of brilliance from the lanes. Outside of that one kill on WS bot and bullying out the Doom, your mid just didn't do enough.
Oh, look at Savage. He's just running into all of them. Look at him. He doesn't care. I mean, he maybe should care, John, because they've applied Melodic now. Has he gone too far? Savage, gonna get shackled up. Sonic Wave out. Savage has died. Oh my god. Well, it turns out he should have cared, John, but he sure didn't. He sure didn't at the time.
No.
Cuckoo. Wondering how he got into this position. Probably thinking to himself, does Execration need a captain? Maybe he can go to Execration.
Oh man. You know, I saw chat a little bit, having a little bit of fun, calling out that Agent K would show up. I think we got the letter wrong, guys. Maybe it's Agent S, or maybe Agent S and Agent K. Again, working as a unit, back together. That team works back, Mikey. The game, Savage just gets a little bit too overconfident. Still, Mikado.
No, not to be outdone by Eisen.
Oh lord.
Eisen gets his BKB, runs. He will be safe for now. Grims does go in through the very nice paralyzing cast, locking everybody down as they'll continue the fight without Eisen. This is risky, but they will be able to get away with it. In fact, the chase does continue, but Makoto zipping right back in, trying to find Grims, will spot out the Witch Doctor. And poor old Grims is going down as they will bring in even more from Flipster Talon, just in case. 20k advantage now for Flipster Talon. I imagine they should be able to hold that unless 23 Savage continues to want to die. And Roshan will be up in just a second.
Mike. It's not just Savage who wants to die. Perhaps Cuckoo's feeling a little bit melancholic as well. He will watch Roshi, will ensure that he's pinging the right thing for his carry to go to, and Ursa will oblige. Savage will listen to the captain, and will find himself a freebie. Look, it's still dire straits for Ivory, but you look at the state of the map. High ground hasn't been pierced yet. You still have 2 tier 2s. You still have the high ground hold play with a lot of AoE control.
Well, you're not going to have Drake. That's one thing you won't have. John, he's going to go down. Go on, John. Keep telling me. Keep convincing me that Ivory's going to make a big comeback here. Here we go. There's a smoke. Tell me, John, how's it going to happen?
It's the pit. It's the good death ward. You know, you bait out some spells from Talon. Ivory can do it. You just need to believe. Just need to not get caught out by the smoke and not randomly die like this for Eisen.
No. Oh, the Crocus stun as well from WS. You see, Jonathan, because Sharingan, you can copy things. It makes sense, you know. It's actually very low accurate the way WS is playing, by the way, John. It's the Fire's Amaterasu. Oh my god, it's perfect. WS's cosplay this game is so perfect. It's so well done.
Oh lord.
And Ken's like Sasuke. That's what Ken is. He's displaying too much weakness to Itachi, and Itachi's disgusted by it. His bottom lane. Here we go. They're onto the Shaman. Drick in trouble. Drick is gonna get put into a chicken form for now. He'll make it out though. Drag back onto Jokan. Ken desperately trying to take down the Slark, but here comes WS. Even the Crocus stun onto Ken. You lack hatred, he says. And Rupido will also go down. It was a line from the anime.
I know. I know when you're
really
doing an anime thing.
Okay.
I don't have time for 1,000 episodes, Mikey.
That's Ken's problem, John. He lacks hatred. He lacks it.
Well, I don't know if he lacks hatred, Mikey. You know, I don't think he's feeling that he's enough. I'm pretty sure there might be some self-loathing and hatred right now, but hopefully not. Again, this is something you have to reset now from Ivory. Yeah, I don't know how you had the time to watch 1,000 episodes of that, but you don't have time for Boruto? You know, you should get the kids started on Boruto. They're young enough to appreciate the concepts, Mike. The deep lore.
I'd never do that to my children, John. Even I've got a few standards, you know. I wouldn't do that to them. Not that bad of a father. Torn out. Savage gonna get dragged back, but Grims is not happy about that drag back because he gets killed. It's like a flood, and the river brings a bear along. You know, you don't want that, John. You jump in, Hex is out, but 23 Savage couldn't give a crap. Sonic Wave connects on him at the very least. He still has an Aegis up, but maybe if they can take him to the fountain. Maybe they can convince 23 Savage to have a bar feature. That might do it.
The depth shroud's too much.
Still looking at him. In comes WS now with a big stun out. Ken getting caught with the Vortex. Makoto getting to work. Ken slowly dying. Gets the blink away into the fountain and will survive as they X-Back Savage. Can they drag him? No, they cannot. A beautiful blink away. And that'll be 1 racks up now for Flipster Talon. In fact, Makoto going in again will be just fine to zip back up. I don't think Talon have done that. They're going another time.
No.
And they found ice. I mean, just look at that. If that doesn't want to make you call GG, I don't know what will.
Yeah, it should come out soon. I think Ivory, look, they had great ideas. Didn't really pan out. And this Ursa last pick certainly put a spanner in the works. I don't think the Quap solution to Storm was particularly amazing as well. I feel like this could have been... Again, I get the mindset of just having a good hero to connect onto the side lanes. Quap is that hero, but you might have been better off with, say, maybe even Alina this game. Just went out your mid as Makoto is free.
Oh, Makoto.
Yes, free.
Right onto Grims.
Good lord.
He's a galvanized boy, John. No rust here for Makoto, I'll tell you that. That's an accurate joke, by the way, Jonathan, because galvanization avoids rust on metal, in case you weren't aware.
Look, just because I don't know anime doesn't mean I don't know what galvanized means, Mikey. I didn't until the last time we were having that conversation. I remember. All right? I remember.
Well, you could have at least pretended to laugh, John. Joke's not as funny if I don't have my laugh track behind me. Yeah, mid-Rax is going to go down.
He didn't talk about building a home on a 1 square meter lot. It's not funny without that. What do you mean?
I love that guy. Shout out to everyone that knows the TikTok guy that loves galvanized steel. So they are going to jump on Savage. I'm joking, by the way, John. I'd never download TikTok. Savage, he's going to go onto Eisen. Eisen, oh lord, getting caught out. Eisen absolutely destroyed here. Gets the BKB off. Makoto says, put that in your pipe and smoke it. BKB means nothing. Ken is burning in his fountain, and GG is called. And there you go, Jonathan. Flipster Talon. Game number 1 to go their way in quite a convincing fashion. And props to Ivory. They had a good idea, but really, I'm just going to put it out if they can't pull off a victory here in game 2. But yet, again, I keep saying this. You don't want to have to go through the lower bracket because it's a much longer run, much riskier, no safety net. And chances are you're going to run into these guys again anyway, later on, even if you do get through all of it. So you'd much rather just beat them now if you can. So we might have an early team fight to break out. Yes, Jonathan?
Before a team fight breaks out. Actually, if they do drop down and Talon stays in the upper bracket final, then potentially you don't. That is assuming Talon wins, you know, all the way there. If they don't, well, that rematch does happen. Could be a nightmare.
Speaking of nightmares, oh, they actually don't spot him out. Thought maybe you could have gone for a shards there on that staircase to block in Grims, but just don't seem quite quick enough. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be a nice even trade this time around on the bounties, 2 for 2. And you know, this mid lane matchup is going to be quite intriguing, as it is going to be the mid Ken Puck versus the mid Lena. I'd still dare say that it is going to be Lena favored in this matchup. So we'll see what Ken can do to try and win the lane matchup this time. Obviously, last game around, he did not have a great lane. Hoping for a much better time this time, but the problem is the Lena harassment's pretty ridiculous. You know, like, look at this.
Yeah.
What's Ken meant to do?
Nothing. Just stand back, try to soak level 2, and hope for the best once you have that phase shift up. Puck doesn't tend to lose most lanes, but this is the one lane that is harder than most. And ideally for Ken, you at least aim for a 50-50. You try to use your Puckish as much as possible. Dodge out the Dragon Slave whenever that commitment's out from Mikado. The cooldown matchup is in your favor, of course, so you should always have phase shift available once you get the skill point. It's just that Mikado's working this early level spike quite nicely. I mean, you're down to just 90 HP. It's not a good time, but with Puckish and phase shift, this should start to, you know, have some play if you can dodge here for good old Ken, which, again, it's fairly telegraphed. You should be able to, just like that. And again, you have more uptime and phase shift than Mikado does on Dragon Slave. So this is where it equalizes a bit, but the damage has been done. And it's not too overwhelming. As long as you're within like 2 CS here for the puck, you're fine. And again, rune control's a big part.
Oh, but
if you can get the rotation in at 4 minutes, you're going to feel good.
Yeah, but look what he's doing, John. He's using Dragon Slave to force him to phase shift, and he doesn't get the regen because it's not an attack. So it's like every time he has phase shift off cooldown to get that little regen, Makoto just Dragon Slaves and he doesn't get anything out of it.
No, I mean,
so
it does
annoying.
work. It's 3.5x if you dodge out the Puckish. Is he auto-attacking before Dragon Slaving?
Oh, he's doing something, John, because I'm not seeing the figures.
That's
Maybe
fair.
it's just my PC. Who knows?
I think he's not dodging at all. I think that there's a weird window for Ken. Yeah, he's getting hit by it, actually, so he's not even dodging Mikey.
I see. All right. Well, there you go, John. Turns out I'm blind. Anyway, top play, 23 Savage. And Cuckoo. Against Rupido and Drick, Nightmare is nice here from Cuckoo, but it was taken off of Drick, who was the target they were trying to secure. Oh, Ken's lost his bottle.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, Ken, he lost his bottle. And the worst part is he was going for the water rune. The courier was running right past that mid ward, so Makoto just snipes it from the low ground. Oh my god. That's horrible.
Yeah, and you know, every single spell dodge you miss here on the puck just amps up. Look at it now, 17-6, 9-2. The puck is just losing out massively. And you're a level behind. It's going to be a nightmare build up into 6 now for Mikado, where he can just threaten with a burst. And I mean, he's not dodging. I know it's difficult. It is difficult, to be fair. Like, I'm not saying that anyone can do it, but he has to do it. He picked the puck into this matchup.
I'm pretty sure it works the way I was saying, John, because it's not a targeted spell Dragon Slave. Like, he's targeting the ground, which I think removes the puckish thing.
I'll have to watch closer. I feel like I've seen it work.
If he targets him with it, but if he doesn't target, then theoretically it shouldn't work. If he hits the ground with it, I don't think it works. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, John. We'll learn. Bottom lane, of course, you're going to have Joe Cam and WS against Eisen and Grims. Shard's out. They're going to lock down Eisen. Tag team activated as well. Nice little stun out from Eisen, and naturally, of course, he is going to be fine. Chances are Eisen won't be dying too easily this laning phase as he is playing Dragon Knight. And I've got to say, WS also having a very good time, and the plus 5 DP not really having the huge impact you'd hope for yet, as we continue to look back at Ken, who's getting absolutely mauled here by Makoto.
Yeah, it's a rough time for Ken. At least he has his bottle up now. So he gets the refill. No contest, though. Mikado gets his as well. And again, you're happier on Mikado overall.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. And what can you do? Didn't get that D-word earlier enough. And it's all compounding, right? Like 26-13 now for Lina, off of all these advantages. Level 6, halfway through now for Mikado. Again, going back to the bot lane point just a tad bit. It kind of works in WS's favor to not have a threat, because you're also tanky. You can't really maximize the DP chase down with Spirit Siphon and say Dragon Tail here because of the creep threat as well from WS. So you're pretty happy and just sitting back and farming, because your early timing here for WS is more threatening. The Dominator is just a bigger issue. You're not going to have an easy way of clearing out the creep. The full Overlord off of that is going to be a menace. And there's not much you can really do on Eisen besides breathe fire and hope for the best. And that's kind of it. And Grims can't really fully help if he spams out the Crypt Swarm. I mean, he runs out of mana fast in the support, of course. So you just kind of really have to temper it. I'm surprised the large camp was just left alone. Joe Cam still having access to this pole camp is also causing a ton of issues here.
Oh, Cuckoo's coming. Ken.
Oh,
Cuckoo's coming. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Makoto's going to take it. Of course he is. Cuckoo, he's not a selfish man. He's just here to set up. Makoto, first blood drawn on the Lina. Oh, Ken's having a bad time here, John. He's having a very, very bad time.
that he is. Not just a bad time, he's having a pretty bad day. Maybe an opportunity bought, perhaps?
Not quite. WS is just fighting them back. They wanted to try and get the secure on Joe Cam, but Joe Cam casually walks out of there just fine. And well, the side lanes aren't exactly being won out too much by Ivory either. The one lane that's going really well is Rupido's lane. And that's against the POS 1 Doom, who's not even really carrying the game, let's be frank.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is the one lane you'd expect that, right? With a Pango, you should be able to poke. You've got much more stable durability. You've got a barrier to play with. Savage didn't manage to find himself a good creep either to try to devour and have some more presence. So you don't really miss out because you're getting that value from Cuckoo. Because he can walk around the map. The Doom isn't going to die solo.
Scanning.
So you can try to work some pressure. He is trying to go for the steal, but there are heroes around.
Well, Nightmare's going to fly out. Cuckoo's still going to try for the Shrine of Wisdom, but it is going to be contested, of course. And well, chances are Cuckoo maybe getting a little bit greedy this time. We'll go down to Rupido. Be very happy to claim his life. 1-1 now between these two sides.
Yep.
I really do feel as though if you're Ivory, you've got to start trying to figure out ways to stop Makoto already.
Dire's middle tower.
Because his net worth is already starting to skyrocket out of control, well beyond anybody else at this stage. And well, right now we aren't seeing any kind of support rotations yet. In fairness, they probably can't even play off Ken because he just doesn't have the damage output at the moment. Bottom lane, chases on for Grims. Cuckoo gets a brain sap, doesn't try for the Nightmare. Jocam's still having a look around, has tag team and Snowball, and actually does run into him. Needs a bit of help though, because Grims can just turn around and Spirit Siphon.
Radiant's courier has
Gets a nice little courier of Eisen, so he'll lose that Gloves of Haste. Jocam's still just stalking Grims, who's just standing there trying to avoid him as they're just sniping him from a mile away. He'll siphon up a creep to try and remain alive. Nightmare onto Jocam, trying to allow him an escape route, but he can't get it. Even a Quail now. Ken's here. They want WS, but Makoto right around the corner, but realizes he can't do anything. No Light Strike race skilled up yet. Ken would love a kill onto Makoto, but naturally is not going to find one as they just don't have the lockdown. But still, those two kills, very, very good here for the side of Ivory.
And it is. That's what they needed to find. Kind of compensates a little bit for Ken having that slower start. Makoto is casually getting a Laguna out. Not going to be able to get a follow-up there, but I suppose the one big thing for Talon is that, again, you're getting space out. For Savage, you still have this superior farm on Mikado, who is very close to just finishing up the Boots of Travel, and then he can start to make those plays with less time wasted. So, you do still need to keep that pressure up here.
We're going to see Cuckoo. WS is around. They might actually try and force a fight if this goes on too long. Ivory need to play with a bit of caution. Rolling Thunder making it hard. WS, they're going to trade by taking the Dark Willow's life, and now the cavalry's incoming. This is where things get a little bit scary now for Ivory. They are disengaging pretty well, though, and it looks like they will get out. So it is going to be end up just being a 1-for-1 trade on the supports anyway. Ivory, they'll take what they get. A kill's a kill. Doesn't really change the state of the game, though, at all for either side. Like, you've still got this Lina problem. On the bright side, Eisen is farming extremely well on the DK and is starting to pressure that bottom tier 1 tower quite a bit as the DK. But you do have a Lina problem, and you're probably going to have a Beastmaster problem rather soon as well. As WS
Grims
looking to move in. Does go right onto Grims,
Jeez.
and that'll be another nice easy pick-off. Nothing he can do about it.
No. That's him with level 3 Spirit Siphon up as well. Like, it's just not enough, even with, like, say, 2 things that you tried to siphon out. Didn't quite have the charges. WS already very impactful with the Dominator up. The full Overlord timing is just this big threat, this big tempo that you're looking for in Talon to just take objectives, and he will. I mean, he's held on to the Dark Pearl Summoner quite nicely. Skellies are out.
Oh, bot top. Rupido finding out the hard way. 23 Savage had Doom available and does get taken down as Makoto just quick with the Laguna to secure. Again, things are going swimmingly right now for Flipster Talon. No stress at all. Bottom lane, even the tier 1 bottom goners, they're going to try for the DK. This is a bit of a tankier target, but apparently not so much for WS. Oh my goodness. Just WS is just so confident in his ability to just burst down anyone right now, and so he should be. He makes it look very simple.
I mean, he's getting 62 increased attack speed from his Wild Hunt. Yeah, that's kind of insane. And then just how much you get per unit. And when you have a unit that's so much more unit, like the Dark Troll Summoner, yeah, it ramps up really quick here for that Beastmaster already getting that pre-space down bot. Yeah.
The best part is as well, because you get the rally aura with the skeletons, he gets bonus damage every time he's fought. He gets plus 15 with 3 skellies on his damage, as well as the attack speed. What a combination. Great. How great is that?
Yeah, and WS has been doing that with the Beastmaster nowadays, just sticking to that Wild Hunt. You do have room up top. This is the time we were talking about from Grim's solo. Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, he literally just got Fiend's Grip by Cuckoo. Yeah, he walked up, got Fiend's Grip, and well, WS was there with the damage output, so there was no problems. It's like Ken is going to try and pressure the mid-tier 1 tower a little bit. Joe Cam will take away his ability to do so. At least Ken can find himself an amp damage rune. Should be okay too. Nobody around to contest.
Yeah.
Problem is, like, Talon are just so confident in their ability now to get through this game. It feels like they're going to start knocking on tier 2 towers soon. Because you've got the Helm of the Overlord completed and coming out of the courier now for WS. Meanwhile, mid, they're still trying to push the mid-tier 1 tower, but they just haven't got it without the exorcism. Not while Makoto's around.
Certainly not. Again, they committed top, and that's Grim's using his salvo of, I believe, 6 or 7 spirits on hand as well on Spirit Collector, so it was a super powered exo. So you miss that opportunity for a bigger objective, but you are buying space with them, right? Like, this is all about just getting the initial timings now. It might be a little bit challenging with Aizen just going full form. You're not going to get a fast blink on your DK, but you're looking for scaling. A bit of a smoke out, maybe a gate movement cross as the space is given for the mid siege. Trying to sneak onto bot for Grims and Rupido. I mean, if they could somehow work it onto WS, that would be big, but he's just dancing around them. No vision to scout out. They don't have a defensive ward further south. So this is just a massive waste of time. And again, Talon, they've equalized that farm. Like, Mikado and WS are farming at the same pace. Savage isn't actually lagging behind. He is a Doom at equal net worth, so it's not a great feeling, but like you said earlier, Mike, it's not a Doom show. It's a Lina and Beastmaster show in this game for Talon. He does show that smoke to Savage.
And he does. Doesn't really seem to matter though, because Aizen's still farming this large camp. Looks like he will retreat at the right time. Instead, they might run into Drick. More numbers coming here from Ivory. Jocam's gonna break his smoke. They'll see Aizen trying to fight over the Shrine of... Oh, that's a nice shot. It locks them both in. The Terrorizer to buy a bit of space, but it's not gonna be enough as WS right onto Aizen with a roar. Aizen's down. A perfect shots from Jocam. Grim's on the run. They don't even care for the DP. Who else have they got? More TPs are coming, so they are going to continue this fight. WS is the target. They are silencing him up. He's actually taking a fair bit, but the snowball's going to buy him time, so WS is not going to go down. Grims will drop instead. I mean, I don't think they can even kill this beast. WS, he's just going to casually walk out. Tier 1 top tower does go down. Oh, I don't know about that, Ken. Walrus Punch, Ken. Oh, no. Ken. Oh, at least they do get WS. Aizen will get him. They'll get Joe Cam as well. So I guess in the end, Ken, he does make a pretty big kill happen. WS was worth a lot of gold.
And he was. A very important gold injection coming out for the side of Ivory. It's just that you're losing a lot for that. Tier 1 top is pretty impactful because you're seeing how Talon's playing. They're always contesting these Shrines of Wisdom, and they did also snag that objective away earlier on, as they did have to step off of the platform, giving free EXP for WS and the lowest EXP support as well. not finding the contest on the other side across the map, as that tier 1 still stands here for Talon. For Ivory at this point, it does feel like they're putting all their faith now in the capability of Aizen to carry the game. Like, again, he's going Maelstrom, he's going to go for full Mjolnir into Blink BKB. So that means a lot of waiting until the DK is fully set up to kind of come in, but it's a matter of how do you find that stall, right? Like, you do have some damage coming in from Ken. He's getting progression into the Blink, not as far as you'd expect now.
Coil on one. It's just Jokam here stuck in the coil. Pretty awkward fight because now the TPs are incoming. Makoto's going to join in. Grims gets caught and immediately gets bursted down. Desperate times. Top lane. They do have 23 Savage. This will be a very nice kill, but the sidestep from Savage. Not getting stunned by the Rolling Thunder as even Ken dies. 23 Savage walks out top. And now the immediate connect from Flipster Talon to try and see if they can find the stragglers top lane, and I think they are going to find them. Cuckoo will not see Aizen in time. Aizen will be okay. Meanwhile, Savage, he might eventually die, and he does. Drick will get him, but he got the Doom off beforehand. The chase is on. They should eventually find Drick. And Jokam will do exactly that. And Roshan naturally has begun. And, I mean, as much as I want to say Savage dying is a big deal, it's really not. Because Makoto and WS, they're the real problems.
They are, and again, the gold just goes solo to Drick, and this Blink is somewhat impactful in your Dark Willow. I don't think it's enough, right? This isn't the hero that you're looking to make turns. It's really down to the cores. Like, if Rupido maybe gets his Blink, he's working as well into the Lotus first, something defensive, and gives him a little bit more play, at least protects him from the control that Kuku's trying to implement here. Aegis up on WS is a major concern, as, again, we're seeing his damage output just skyrocket just with the Overlord and drums. He's going for the full pipe, so they do understand there is output, as we're seeing. When the turn does come in from Ivory, the magical damage is quite oppressive. Well, at least need one ore item up. And again, the stall has managed to go well for Aizen. With a full Mjolnir, the farm pace is starting to kick into full gear. It's just a matter of waiting for 6,000 more gold. And that's the issue right now. It's going to take 6,000 more gold. Maybe the Blink alone, 2,000, would be enough. But there are just too many holes that Talon can exploit. And even the BKB might still not be comfy, right? Because you've got grip, you've got lore. You can just change your prioritization on who you'd want to pin down. You have the Doom as well. And I don't know, like, the BKB is one thing, but you have 3 separate debuff immunity piercing spells on Talon that you can leverage. It might not even matter, that BKB. So if that's what you're banking on for your return here for the side of Ivory, it's going to be still a bit challenging. The game is not simplifying by any means just yet. And for Talon's part, a 6k lead at 18 minutes in is significant. They're starting that siege down bot. It doesn't take too long for WS. And they still have a lot of time in the Aegis, Mikey. High ground can happen if they were willing to take a risk. Chances are, you play it safe, you clear more tier 2s, and you start to eat into that map. Again, fully try to choke out Ivory here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Welcome. Very important team fight for Ivory. They'll see WS. That's just not the guy they can hope to take down that quickly. Especially with the Aegis up. And there'll be a counter smoke now. There is plenty of vision around this area for both sides. Problem is, Talon see that they've just placed the ward on that cliff. So they know that Ivory is smoked. The D ward will be there from Rupido, so they do lose their vision on Talon. Down bottom, Grims, Ken, and Drick all still smoked up. Said they'll connect mid once again, just huddling around Makoto, but Makoto's not getting jumped whatsoever by Ivory. And so both smokes really pan out to absolutely zero. You do still have 2 minutes on the Aegis though for WS, so I imagine Flipster Talon won't be giving up that quickly on the smoke, especially considering they just found an amp damage rune from Makoto. I do think they'll probably want to go for a big fight here, Flipster Talon, with all they've got.
Yeah.
If they can find some targets, that is. Even the Tormentor, I guess, is probably worthwhile, and it seems like that's where they're going.
And the shard upgrades are pretty nice on both of your supports. Maybe Cuckoo's isn't as impactful. Certainly the deeper shards out from Jokam can start to really lock in an area, make it a little bit awkward, especially for the DK, and to an extent the Pango with his role as well. And kind of be impacted in trying to look for those angles. We'll find it. No real contest coming out here from the side of Ivory. As for Ivory, I don't see how you simplify this game yet. It's another smoke. They're all starting to clump up again over the 21-minute Shrine of Wisdom, though. Drake is in position to break the smoke. Pretty smart.
Indeed. We'll get started. They are maybe going to find Drake here. The Drake still alive for now. Meanwhile, Rubido getting roared through that Rolling Thunder and the Fiend's Grip as well from Cuckoo, just in case. No hesitation. And they don't really need to hesitate at all with the spell usage either, because it doesn't really feel like they need the spells right now.
No.
G2 top tower going to be targeted. Even a blink up on Cuckoo now to make matters worse for Ivory.
Are fortified.
So even just the blink nightmares are going to be a huge nuisance here for Ivory to try and deal with. You're still just kind of searching for answers right now. It's very reminiscent of what happened in game number 1. Like, you had an okay laning stage, you fall behind in the mid game, and now you're just stuck looking for answers as to how to pull yourself back in. It also feels like they're just playing without a mid laner right now. Like, Ken just hasn't had a game once again.
No.
He you know, the lane matchup is just atrocious for him. What's he meant to
That
do?
it is. I'm not sure. I mean, again, they've been sitting on some double blink timings as well. We saw Drake try to play with it, again, with that play on breaking the smoke. I mean, the lead's just growing wider, and they're trying to go back for Lincolns on Ken just to have some protection from the single target spells, but you have 3 of them. 4 if you want to count Laguna here and Mikado. So even if you whiff one, chances are you'll get the other for the side of Talon, and you still wouldn't mind. I'm still trying to work like a timing that makes sense here for Ivory now after such a rough early game. I suppose it's just down to pickoffs again, right? Like, try to isolate Talon, try to get some vision down. They don't really have the highest impact wards. They do have one watching by mid-tier 1 area on Radiant's side, but it's not doing too much. They have the standard cliff ward as well on that bot jungle. But again, it's not giving them real angles out here. To be fair, Talon's positioning is all over the place. They hug top, they hug bot, they're just working the entirety of the map. So looking for those opportunities is a pretty big challenge overall. And again, yeah, I mean, this game is just not simplifying. BKB now for Savage with a Radiance up, going back for the Blink next. Mikado's just going full Daedalus. So the right click on Lena's going to be fully online. You have to make this work somehow with some of these blinks.
You sure do. How, though, I don't know. Mid-tier 2 tower is going to go for free. There'll be no contest from Ivory. Lines being drawn through the bottom lane as well, so Flipster Talon do not seem like they're done at all. They'll just start with the easier lane to take a Rax in.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And of course, while Makoto's just hanging back and hitting away, chances are you're not going to be able to defend very effectively. As Ivory, they are slowly moving in. A lot of caution required here, especially for those Doom targets of 23 Savage. And in fact, it looks like Flipster Talon, after doing a crap ton of tier 3 damage, they've had enough.
Yeah.
No need to stick around. They just leave. Arcane Rune picked up from Makoto. He'll come back a little bit later on. And in fairness, Makoto is now working towards that full Daedalus, so you may as well just have the Daedalus up before you try for high ground. That basically ensures, you know, the high ground victory. I feel like with all that bonus damage.
Pretty much. I mean, you could also just wait out next Roche as well. We're a few seconds away from seeing how long that timer will be, visually at the very least. And Talon can kind of set up. I mean, when you're 15k ahead at 25 minutes in, you can do whatever you want in the game, and it's not necessarily wrong, as I still don't see the opportunities for Ivory. Yeah, it's allowing a little bit of a catch-up, but you're not actually lowering the net worth disparity by any means. So even though it looks passive, even though it looks like you're giving space, you're using that space better on Talon anyhow. A little bit of a smoke. Maybe you can catch one.
I mean, Makoto would be massive if they could kill him. It'd be the first time they have killed him this game if they got him too, but he does retreat once again. Flipster Talon looking forward to the next Roshan opportunity, which doesn't look like it's going to be too far off. You do still have a bit of a search from Ivory, but there's going to be a counter smoke now from Flipster Talon because they just picked up their BKB on WS. Jump in immediately. Shards will lock down one. Aizen is around to try and help out. They'll land a nice terrorize onto 2 targets as well. Aizen's going to try and at least burst down the task. Joe Cam, though, barely surviving. And now the raw Fiend's Grip comes out. Aizen, he just can't do anything. You just can't do anything.
No.
Like, between the raw, that they stacked it too that time. They didn't even stack it properly. They both committed raw and Fiend's Grip at the same time. But it just doesn't matter if they waste the spells.
No, and again, like that's the issue. It's so hard to find an angle. Taking a 5v5 just feels like you shouldn't, but you have to because Talon's playing as 5. You really, I mean, what can you do, right? You can't look for the pickoffs. There's no one playing out of position on Talon. Maybe you could argue Savage is kind of tempting fate, but he knows there's no threat right now while he still has a BKB and he still has Doom. Why the hell not take the opportunity to just get more freebies while you're lacking the tools here on Ivory? And that's 1 racks down just off of one awkward fight here for Ivory. A little bit of a pause as maybe some connection issues here for WS, but for Ivory, there's a lot of game issues right now, Mikey. Again, like we were talking about with the timings here for Aizen. The BKB just it doesn't feel like it matters. The double, triple blinks you have on Dark Willow, Puck, and Pangolier hasn't really done much. You need to find the backline. But Talon's position has, again, been pretty sharp. Like, they're not giving openings. They're not sticking to one area of the map. They're constantly running back and forth between top, mid, and bottom. They've got Lena just working the entire map as well. They've got Roche opening up now. Perhaps this Lincoln's on Ken can allow some gameplay, but he has to be pretty clever about this one. Can only block 1 spell.
Decent start for Ivory. Savage, oh, Doom gets blocked. The Lincoln's out. Aizen, he has no worries about Doom now. Rupido is down though, so it is a 4v4 once again. In fact, 4v5 now that the buyback is there from Joe Camp. And that's it. They get a nice start. They still lose Rupido in the end. And thankfully for them, 23 Savage messes up the Doom so they could not chase Aizen. But Roshan's still going to start. Oh, they're going to jump in and check with Ken. They'll know that it's still around half HP.
WS.
Meanwhile, WS is spotted, but he has help. Makoto's going to be here. Aizen, he's going to go for the BKB and the manpipe, but WS is taking no damage. Coils in. Savage to jump in as well, going after Grims. Meanwhile, a terrorize? No, it's not even committed. That's about it. Daedalus up now for Makoto, as they are going to smoke up. Try again, they say. Problem is, Raw's back up in 10. And I think Raw's the real scary one, but you've also got Fiend's Grip on Cuckoo. It's not going to be an easy fight.
Wait,
they'll start Roshan.
trying to sneak it?
They're trying to sneak it, and they're getting somewhere, but here comes a big croaker. Oh no, Drick is down. Drick loses to Roshan. He'll buy back. Here comes WS, getting stunned up by Rupido. They'll try and just focus down the Beastmaster, but again, he's taking no damage as Roshan is down, and WS does pick up the Aegis for himself. 2 lives available. They'll try to get at least 1. Now the Fiend's Grip on Ken from the back as well. Cuckoo just holding down the puck forever. It's Ken forced to retreat as they've lost Aizen. They'll lose Grims. They've even lost Ken to Makoto. And the chase continues. They'll try to find Rupido, who's trying to just clear the creep waves before he does either die or go back to the fountain. And Makoto's onto the racks. I mean, Savage is just chasing this Pangolier, and there's nothing he can do. He'll try for the he doesn't even have a TP for another second. He's gonna wait.
And that's all
Mega's coming.
I mean, you don't need to doom around for this anyhow. I thought it would be a better angle to force the fight because Mikado was pretty low on mana. Instead, forcing out the Roche when you got free checks here with just the shard on the Tusk just, again, felt a little bit optimistic. And that Talon just punish. 10 to 21. Sure, you get the dieback in Jokam. That's pretty nice. It's not enough to turn the game. You can see how far behind you are, though. That kill in Jokam was 404 plus 668 gold. A pretty significant amount. If you could find it, like, 5 more times, like killing off either Hooker or Jokam 5 times in a row, either one or a mix, then you can kind of drag the game back, but Talon aren't really giving you a lot of openings. They're just so slippery. They're keeping every lane shoved out. So there's no easy way to go hunting. Your wards just aren't staying up for too long here on the side of Ivory either. And now it looks like probably waiting out. No, a smoke out now.
Eisen? Eisen?
Oh no.
Oh, Eisen, no. No, not Eisen. Well, there goes Eisen.
Yeah. At least Ken is safe. No, he tried to snipe a courier. They know where Ken is.
Oh, no. Oh,
Ken.
no. Ken is safe, did you say, John? Is that what you were trying to say before you cut yourself off?
Yeah, I said that until he right-clicked the courier. Once. He didn't even kill it. So I don't... Yeah, no.
No.
What can you do? What can you do? 30k up
What
now
can
for
you do?
Talon. A little bit of an... Maybe a bit of an existential crisis for Ivory, rather unfortunately, but... at the least... They're not calling it, and they're still trying. No, you gotta find an angle. Maybe Talon messes up somehow.
I mean, Ripito's going to roll in. Hits nothing the first time.
Yeah,
Raw
nah.
he's just getting annihilated by Makoto. He's gone. Raw's back up here for WS. They're going to try one last time. Ken's brought back. They're going to lose Grims immediately. There goes Drick as well. Buybacks coming in left, right, and center. Meanwhile, Ken, though, dying back immediately on the puck. GG's called. They've seen enough. Flipster Talon, clearly too good here today. They will lose. Game number 2 here, Ivory.